Hello, I am Carrie, and this is Beyond the Womb Tarot, where I channel messages that help you continue to grow beyond the womb or expand your mind outside of your current comfort zone to enable you to become your highest self. Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate your energy. Thank you for liking, subscribing, watching these videos. Of course, I love your comments. And I want to get straight into the reading. It is Mercury Retrograde. We're back at it again. I've done so many of these Mercury retrograde readings that I don't know. I thought that I would know what to expect, but this one is interesting. It's some of the same energies around that we normally get in Mercury retrograde, but I really like the way these cards are put together. So I've already pulled the spread, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. It's interesting because I like to read like this, but I'm seeing a big picture energy right now, which I appreciate because we're talking about Mercury retrograde. It's a big picture, like it's a big influence on the entire earth right now. So it's nice to get like that overall energy of what's going on. We are used to Mercury retrograde. Ooh, I forgot what I wanted to say about it, but it's like I forgot what I wanted to say about it, but it affects the mind. It is like a mental thing. It's a lot of air energy, so we normally have things come up with communication. There can be miscommunication, misunderstandings. Of course, you have like the communication when it comes to electronics. Sometimes there can be issues with that, etc., etc. I think that's some of the like most popular things that we hear when it comes to Mercury retrograde. But when I'm looking at these cards, this is talking about like within you, like internally. Yes, it is your relationship with the world, but it's also your relationship with yourself, and like really trusting yourself and having discernment when things might not be quite as they seem. I'm seeing like a, not opportunity. There's a word I want to use. Like there is an availability. There's an opening. There we go. For you to kind of make some missteps right now, especially if it comes to like miscommunication or whatever. Like there's an opening for you to maybe make some missteps, and I feel like this message is saying, hey, trust your intuition. If it's not as it seems, if things are not as they seem, like really trust that. Okay, that's the overall general. Let's zoom in closer. We have Judgment and the Nine of Wands. I was looking at these two cards and I was like, oh, they're so beautiful. It's like Nine of Wands, this is the wounded warrior. This is somebody who has, been through some things, and they have their guard up still. They're not quite, they're not quite coming out of their shell. They're maybe really shut down, closed down, don't want to talk to nobody, see nobody. They don't really trust anyone. But then to have this judgment and to see this woman, like literally her skeleton or her spirit is coming up out of her. And it looks so like, it looks free. You see how the arms are open, free? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, look, the wounded warrior is finally coming out. It's like finally getting a chance to express themselves and like, oh, I'm free. But if we're thinking about Mercury retrograde and stuff coming back around, this might not necessarily be the best energy. I'm like, okay, but what aspects is coming out? So right now there could literally, like, your inner child could be coming out right now to be like, hello, have you forgotten about me? I am here. Or that hurt, part of yourself from that last breakup that you just suppressed because you did not want to deal with it is coming out. To be like, hey, deal with me right now. Of course, you could literally have gone on a major spiritual journey and you're deciding, I'm no longer going to stay closed within myself. I'm going to allow myself to be open and be like the fullest, most loving part of myself and just like spread that joy to the world. That could also be an option too. It just depends on you and your situation and what you're going through. But I feel like right now, yes, it could be a time for us to really connect with ourselves again and some of those other aspects of ourselves to come back and connect within the world. This card, if we're looking at Rider-Waite Tarot, it's literally like resurrection. Like you see little people coming out of caskets again. And I feel like things are just popping up again. I said this could be the relationship with you and yourself, talking about inner child, talking about, hurt parts of yourself, talking about the joyous part of yourself. But this can also be the relationship with you and the world as well. So again, like we always say with Mercury retrograde, your exes could be coming back. Even opportunities that you turned down or missed could be coming back. Like a lot of stuff could be coming right back around, spinning the block for you to take a look at again. When we move over to the Fool and the Knight of Swords, this is when, like, I thought this reading was straightforward, but this is when I was like, wait a minute, this is moving too fast. Hold on. It's going too fast. You cannot go to Judgment and the Fool. There's some other cards that we got to get through first before we become the Fool. And so right now, you might, especially, like, think about it. Think if we go to the example of you having gone on this long spiritual journey and you're like, I'm finally going to let my real self come out and show like my true self to the world. But if you haven't operated as your true self ever in life and you decide to let your true self, come out and take over, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. Just know that you might not know how to be yourself because you haven't been that person. So there might be a little bit of hiccups that are going on. And that's what I kind of see here when I see the Fool and the Knight of Swords. I see like somebody who is rushing to get to this new beginning, to start over. This could even be the energy of like, say your inner child is driving. Your inner child does not know brakes. What are brakes? They only know gas and go, 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 go. So you, like your inner child popping up for you to take a look at might kind of take over, and some things that were unhealed, they can start having tantrums about, like, I don't know if you've ever done inner child healing. It can be fun. It can be a lot. It can be like confusing. I feel like there's all this energy that can come with it. But one thing is like your inner child doesn't have the same caution as you do. Because why would they? They're kids. It's like, no. Kids are driven by like desire, like, oh, I want this candy, I want it now, give it to me now. There's just a different way of communicating with the world. And I just kind of feel like this energy of, I'm feeling these things, I don't want to sit in this energy, I want to rush and find a solution. So that's what I'm feeling like. If you got, gosh, I'm trying to remember my examples from before. If you're in this energy of rushing to find a solution, are you really and truly understanding what's going on? Like, do you see all the energies that are at play here? For example, if you're, again, being yourself, then you haven't been your full self ever again or ever at all, and you're rushing to be this new person and you're trying to live this new life, there's quite a few missteps you can make because you might be still making decisions based on your old self, just because that's like the habits that you've evolved into doing, and it doesn't quite work for your new self. So your new self might literally, like, I won't say tear down your life, but rebuild your life based on your new self, which can be amazing and fun, but it can also be very, very chaotic because maybe nothing is right. Maybe your car ain't right, your spouse ain't right, your job ain't right, like your clothes. It can literally be a situation in which you are feeling called to change everything, especially because we got this Mercury retrograde. There's a lot of change that can happen during this time. I'm just getting the energy of pay attention. Don't just be doing things. Don't be making decisions, just like, boom, I want to do this, I want to do that. I think there's a time for you to like really sit back and contemplate the energies behind that. Like, who is in control right now? Who is it that I am making these decisions for? Is it me that has been planning this for a long time? That's been working on this for a long time? Or is it me just having this impulse of like, you know what? Why am I in this house? Let me move. Or you know what? This person, I don't like being with them. Let me just break up. Or let me get with this person because they're here. Like, understanding where your decisions are coming from, what energies are behind there, because it's a need to really have discernment right now, because I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that's just bouncing around and you can catch it and you can be like, ooh, I want this, I'm on this, I want to do that. Or your inner child can be like, hey, I want to go to the park, but I want to go to the park in Florida, so let's fly there. Let's spend all of our hard-earned money, hard-earned money on flights, on tickets to Disney World. Them things are expensive. On a place to stay, let's buy all the food, like, I feel like there's a chance right now for you to be making all kinds of decisions because they're out there. It's like the opportunity. Imagine if we're talking about communication, there's like all this stuff coming towards you, and it is up to you to decide if you want to take that on or not, if you want to think about that or not, if you want to allow that thing to run you or not. Like, what is important to you? Like, hold on to that right now. It's a time to like batten the hatches, basically. Like, all right, let's hold on while we go through this. Also, if you're somebody who Mercury energy is great for you, this is also an opportunity for you to you could jump some steps ahead. I just think that you should really pay attention and know what you're doing before you try to attempt this. Proceed with caution, I would say. There's a lot of fast moving energy, and I see like the desire to jump from the current state that you are in to a whole brand new one. But I'm seeing caution all over these cars. Like, be careful, slow down, pay attention, look both ways. That kind of energy. We have 7 of Cups and 5 of Wands. I'm getting the energy of a new beginning here throughout this whole entire reading. But it is a choice on how you want to go about your new beginning. I think that, like, I had the feeling of you already having something in place. Like, you've already, like, this new beginning is not nothing new to you. Like, you already know that you're on a new beginning and you desire a new beginning and you've been planning for a new beginning. But I see, like, right now during Mercury Retrograde, you might see some opportunities for you to jump ahead, get ahead, and kind of like do stuff that you haven't planned for, literally, I see the energy of you not quite being ready. It's like you haven't planned for this. You're like just out here, and none, like no safety net, no nothing around you. It's just like you out here, and that's what I see from this 7 of Cups. It's like you're needing to make a decision, but you have very little information to back you up. But you're out here making this decision anyway, just because the decision is there and it's available. Just because there's an option don't mean you have to choose it. Don't mean you have to like put energy into it. I don't know why. It's so funny because I feel like I always tell people to like go for your dreams. Don't let nothing stop you. But right now I'm getting the energy of wait, slow down, hold on, pay attention, look, see what's up before you go. 7 of Cups being clarified by the 5 of Wands. This decision, if you're making any decisions right now, they might not be very well informed and they might be a little bit chaotic. Even if maybe you know what's going to come next, or like maybe you have an inkling of, oh, if I try this, then I should get this outcome because this is something that's normal to happen in this situation. I just feel like a lot of chaos around it. It might not turn out to be the way that you planned on it to be. So I would not even try to attempt something that you have not planned for. Like, I'm talking about been planned for, been had things laid out and prepared for yourself. Like, I just see the energy of no preparation. There was something else I wanted to say, but I feel like I shouldn't say it on YouTube, but it has something to do with not having any lubrication. Like, I just feel like this is the type of energy that you really want to stay away from if you're trying to, like, ease yourself into a new, like, transition smoothly into something new. I kind of feel like this energy right now that's floating around is very chaotic, and it could be hindering you. It could help, like it could set you back a bit, or just make you, like, it seems like it'll be faster, but it won't. It's gonna be like messy. I just get the energy of mess. Then we have the Devil and the Chariot. This is where the warning comes in. When I was first looking at these cards, I'm like, oh, beautiful. They're the collective. We have the opportunity for a new beginning. It could be swift, it could be really fast, might be skipping some steps, but hey, it's a new beginning. And then I saw the Devil and the Chariot and I was like, ooh, wait a minute. All new things are not good, all gifts are not good, all opportunities are not good. That's the type of energy I'm getting here. I'm like, if you go fast, if you go, what's that thing that they say? It can either be good, fast, or cheap, but it can't be all three. Or it can be 2 of those, but not all 3. There's a saying. I'm sure you know it. I feel like it's popular, but this is what I'm saying. But especially when it comes to the fast part. Like, if you get service fast, is the quality good? Is the price okay? Like, I feel like you'll be giving up things potentially if you were going to go too fast during this energy. So I really, and I feel like it's so funny because this is kind of the typical Mercury retrograde energy. It's like, yeah, things go fast. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of opportunities. Things are coming back around. But what are you going to do in this? Do you know better? Have you learned from the past Mercury retrogrades? Do you understand how they work for you? Do you have the confidence in yourself to move forward in this energy and make certain decisions, especially new decisions, and start new things during this energy? Or do you think you want to wait a little bit, wait it out and see what's up? Or at least gather more information? I'm like, there's very little information here. It's just making a decision and just trying to figure it out. It's like, oh, look at this opportunity. I'm going to take it. Okay, boom. I took it. So what do I do next? I don't know. I just took it. It wasn't helpful for me at all, but it just came around and I just took it. I feel like it's a chaotic or, um, what is it called? Like when you do stuff too fast. It's a when you do stuff too fast type of energy. So I pulled some advice here. So here's the cards of advice. We've got the Three of Wands, the Eight of Swords, Death and Rebirth, which is the Death card, and the High Priestess. Two major arcana here. So the advice for me, when I see this Three of Wands, that's when I was thinking, it reminds me of, well, so this is I can't speak. I'm talking too fast. This Three of Wands reminds me of like you're sitting here, you're waiting on something. This is something like, this is a package that you ordered, basically. You know it's coming. You might be unsure about the timing because it has to come across the sea, but you know it's coming because you placed the order for this package. You just like waiting, maybe not patiently, but you're waiting on this. And that's what I feel here when I was talking about, like, maybe you've gone through some major healing and like this whole new version of yourself has come through and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait to be my full self in my new environment. Like, tomorrow I'm going to get up out this bed. I'm going to be a whole brand new person and I'm going to live my life like this. Like, I get that energy of you waiting for something to come in so that you can make some moves. But the thing that I see, and that may not be prevalent, because I do feel like Mercury can be a little bit of, there can be a little bit of delulu going on with Mercury retrograde. Eight of Swords. This person is looking in this mirror. She doesn't have any strings on her, but in the mirror she does. And I feel like right now, especially because I was talking about maybe your inner child coming back, maybe your hurt inner self coming back. Right now, you might be able to see some of the things that are holding you back from being who you truly want to be. And that can be coming up in the form of triggers. I'm saying, like, as parts of us and pieces of us come back to ourselves, we have to figure out how to, like, work with them, how to resolve those parts of ourselves. Like, for example, even if it was a good part, like maybe we were really, really good with running businesses. Like, we're really good with, like, entrepreneurship. But that part of ourselves we haven't really worked with before because we've always worked for someone else, right? But once that part comes back to you and you're working for somebody else, it could be difficult to resolve that because you're like, I know what I'm doing. I have these gifts, skills, and abilities. Why am I sitting here listening to you? Why am I even allowing you to tell me what to do? Like, it can give you a whole completely different attitude. And not to say that that's wrong or anything, but if you're working for somebody else, there's a certain amount of humbleness that you move forward with, and you remember why it is that you're working for that person. Perhaps that you wanted to get some experience in that industry. Perhaps you wanted to understand, like, maybe you never worked in that type of position before. Like, you have experience somewhere else in a completely different position, a completely different industry, but you decided to, like, instead of going back to school, to go and get some real life experience. But now that this entrepreneurship side came back to you and you're like, I'm ready to start my own thing, you completely forget your plan that you already set in place of, I'm going to get this experience, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to set aside this much money, and boom, you go out and you just, jump on whatever opportunity that comes to you. I think it's the perfect time for you to remember, like, hey, I know who I am and the gifts and skills that I have, but I also am lacking these things. These are the things that are holding me back from being successful in what I want to be successful in. And so I need to sit here and be patient, even though I'm like, I know this, I'm smart, I got this. But I need to sit here and be patient and allow myself to learn something new, even though I have all this other experience. There's things that I don't know. I don't know everything. And there's things that I'm learning here. Same thing about if you're an inner child, and like if those aspects come back to you. Sometimes, especially as adults, we forget how to play. We forget how to play, and then our inner child comes back and we're like, okay, what you want? I don't know how to talk to you. You know, what are you interested in? What do you even care about? And like trying to kind of bridge the communication gap between our grown selves and that part of us that's been around longer than we have, longer than the mature parts. Our inner child is the oldest parts of ourselves. That's the way I like to think about it. But the inner child communicates in a different way, and really trying to like understand what it is that your inner child has come back to tell you. And I say come back, but I feel like our inner child is always with us, but sometimes like that energy can be stronger at other times, like stronger than other times. One thing about me, when I communicate with my inner child, I really like to listen. If I ever feel my inner child is coming up, I'm like, all right, let me stop and listen, because I know in my childhood I don't feel like I got listened to enough. So even if I hear my inner child say, there's a dog over there, I stop and I'm like, there is a dog over there. Look at that dog. Yes, it is. And it just kind of helps me to understand, like, maybe I just needed to pay attention to myself a little bit more. Like, my inner child is a part of me. So if myself is trying to tell me something, I'm like, oh, maybe myself just needed my attention. Yep, there's a dog over there. I see it. You see it, I see it, we all see it. Yes, I agree with you. And then maybe that's all you need. But I just feel like there's opportunities for us to see, like, there's some things that can be looked at and taken care of right now. Like, they're being kicked up for us to see. And if we're rushing so fast and so quickly, we're going to miss it. And we might, fall for some of the same mistakes when we could have the opportunity to see, like, oh, this is where I've been messing up. I can do a little bit better here. This is something that has been bothering me since I was a child. This is something that I believed about myself that's not true anymore since I was a child. And it's coming back again for me to see. Oh, I believe that I wasn't worthy of being listened to. That's just because nobody listened to me. That doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of being listened to. That just means that nobody listened to me. And I'm not only going to believe that I am worthy of being listened to, I'm going to listen to myself when my inner child or any aspects of myself says something. I'm going to be the one to listen. Because it's my job. Another advice, death, rebirth. I do feel that there is an opportunity for something new right now. Again, I told you, it looks like this is something that we've been preparing for a while. And I think that there's multiple ways that it can be done. You can rush into it and not quite be prepared. That's not a bad way to do it. Some people like to do that. Some people like to be surprised in like the energy of chaos. Like they thrive in that way. Or you can like slowly go through it and like, hey, I planned this. I'm going to do it like this. This is the opportunity I was seeking. This exact one. This is what I have written down in my notes. This is the price I was looking for. This is the style I wanted. Like, knowing what it is that you have been looking for and staying in alignment with that. Kind of like sticking to the books, not really swaying from that, and hoping that you're able to go through a little bit more smoother, or, the chaos. Like, there's options and choices here. It honestly just depends on what works for you. And with that, High Priestess, the advice is just to go with your intuition. I feel like in this fast-paced energy, that is really something that we can rely on. Sometimes we think we can rely on our numbers and our, notes and our like knowledge, which is all good. But when there's a chance to make a really swift decision and you feel like you have to make it now, today, right now, like I feel like so many times we know what we want to do instantly, but we can sit there and overthink and analyze. But our intuition tells us immediately, hey, do you want to go to that party? Nah, I'm tired. And then we're like, oh, but who's going to be there? Oh my gosh, all these popular people are going to be there. I should go because, it'll be some cool to put on Instagram. Blah, blah, blah. Like you talk yourself into it and then you get there and you're like, man, I should have stayed home. I feel like your intuition knows exactly what you want to do. So taking the time out to really pay attention and listen to that rather than all the noise that's going to be going on around us. I feel like that is a big message for this Mercury retrograde. I don't know why it just feels like it's going to be very, very, very chaotic. Please, you guys, in the comments, let me know how it's going for you. I feel like right now in the beginning of Mercury retrograde, which I tend to feel the energy before it even starts. I've been feeling kind of chill. I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to go out anywhere, but that's not too different from me. I've been feeling real introverted, feeling real like minding my own business, and not necessarily mixing with the population right now. Not outside, but it's also wintertime, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys are feeling. But I do want to say, I think I'm going to title this "Look Both Ways" because I think there's going to be lots of opportunities or lots of interesting things coming up, like things that we can put our energy onto if we wanted to. But the question is this going to be good for us? Is this going to be something that's in alignment with what we're wanting? Or, have we gotten distracted off of our path, or have we let other aspects of ourselves take over when we've already laid down this plan that we want? We already know our desires. And it's because this opportunity is coming in that does not mean that we have to take it or pay attention to it or even feel like it's ours necessarily. There's a whole bunch of stuff floating around. An opportunity can be a person, it can be a job, it can be even like a new thought pattern. Like, oh, I didn't know that. Let me go and explore that. But it could be something that you really has nothing to do with you, but you spent some time on it, even though it didn't have anything to do with you. So yeah, I think, look both ways. Just make sure before you cross the road, before you make this decision, it's not a decision of passion because, emotions are high right now. Misunderstandings are high. Make sure, you don't just go and blow everything up because of one misunderstanding. Really take the time and sit and understand, like, oh, is this Mercury retrograde working, or have I been feeling like this? Am I ready to, end this or finish this or whatever? I think, yeah, look both ways, pay extra attention, really seek your own understanding, like inside of yourself when it comes to your intuition during this time. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.